G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Wednesday, the 13th of May 2020, and the time here is 08:55 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Well folks, as usual, plenty to go through. We'll do the sponsors and then we'll get on with it. Here is my sponsor, Totally Rawsome. Totally Rawsome make golden activated turmeric paste and several other things, including cocoa balls and also turmeric paste for your dogs. If you have not tried this stuff, folks, honestly, it does work. I'm not one of those people that's going to promote something that doesn't work, and this stuff is, for me, it's been a lifesaver. Literally, like pain-wise with my knees and everything else, my joints. Here's their contact details. Mobile, drop the 0 for overseas and add 061, and it's 0433 165 848 and info@totallyrawsome.com.au. Okay, and here's a plug for David Morgan and the Morgan Report. If you want to know what's going on in the world with investments, etc., David Morgan is your man. He's a financial and a commodities guru. They call him the silver guru, for good reason. Man knows everything about finances and gold, silver, etc. So you want to find out what's going on, either sign up or go and read his report. Okay, now, the last week, 2 weeks ago, I said to you that the thing between Australia and China is going to go pretty nuclear in 4 weeks, and everyone, I got comments back going, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. Well, here we are, not even 2 weeks in, and China has completely blindsided Australia. Now, if you're in America, unlike America, here in Australia, we are going to be China's whipping boy. And they're going to prove to everybody what's going to happen to them if they actually keep going on with this coronavirus inquest. So far, we've lost, they've put an 80% surcharge on our barley exports to China. And today or yesterday, they put a ban on 4 meat processing plants or red meat, as in beef meat, coming from Australia, virtually shutting down the industry. And the barley industry has just been decimated. So there's another few thousand jobs on top of the 1 million jobs that we've lost from the coronavirus because of the Chinese. So this is going to get really, really nasty. And you all need to understand, I've said that before, this is not going to stop. And this is how it's going to play out. They're going to keep doing this to our industries, and eventually the Australian government is going to say, you know, that meat factory that China's going to, before they do that, China's going to turn around and say, that meat factory we own, we want that meat. That dairy farm we own, we want that milk. That's what they're actually going to say. Australia's going to say, well, you're not getting any of it then. And they're going to say, well, we own that, we want it. So that's where it's going to turn nasty. And as I said, I would not be surprised if in the next couple of weeks you see a US, I don't know, it's a carrier, isn't it? A carrier, I think it's a Theodore Roosevelt or whatever, one of those, with a couple of destroyers and, you know, all the rigmarole that comes with it, just lob up at an Australian port, either Sydney, won't be Darwin, I don't think. I think they'll go to Sydney because that's a direct route for them. They may go to Darwin because of the South China Sea. So look, this is just going to get uglier and uglier, which kind of leads you to the point where you think that China's started this on purpose to try and force their hand as the world #1 power. So They are literally going to screw everybody, unfortunately. And we're in the firing line. Now, there will be people like, you people don't know who this is, but there's a bloke here in Australia called Ziggy Forrest, or Andrew Forrest, who owns FMG Metals. He's already pulled one stunt where he brought the Chinese diplomat out in an interview that was being done between him, and it was something about medical supplies. He bought all these medical supplies from China, and the health minister, he actually got the health minister there. Well, this is a billionaire, right? Like, kind of like Trump, I guess, but a little bit different. And didn't tell the health minister, the Australian health minister, that the Chinese bloke was going to be there. And the Chinese bloke got up and started lambasting the Australian government, while Ziggy Forrest was standing next to him. He wasn't standing next to the Australian guy. They put the Australian guy over there. Ziggy Forrest was standing next to the Chinese guy while he lambasted the Australian. So that tells you where their loyalties lie. So you're going to find a lot of these, if you're an Australian, you're pretty soon going to find out where people's loyalties lies, as in their back pockets, wallets. And they will do everything they can to stop the Australian government from bringing in a lot of these, what can you call them? Or to try and stop this Australian government doing this inquest. Hang on a second. Now, here's something really funny. Trump is going to back the Australian government, obviously. They're already obviously talking. And I wouldn't mind betting that the Australian government becomes the #1 lead player in finding out about this coronavirus via the CSIRO here in Australia, which is like an Australian government funded thing, backed by the Americans and the UK. Overnight, while we've all been releasing our, burdens, etc., the UK enforced even more lockdown measures. So people in the UK are now gone for 8 weeks being locked down. So look, how's this going to play out with China? Okay, well, look, let's just talk about that for a second. China's going to become very nasty, and they're going to lob up with a cruiser or something like that say they're going to put it in Vanuatu. Now remember, Vanuatu is not that far from Australia, and they can lob a nuclear missile from Vanuatu on Sydney if they wanted to. Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, whoever. It's not that far. And we couldn't stop them either, by the way, if they were that close. Just so you know that, because we have no missile barrier on any of our coastline. Think about that. So look, something is going to give very soon, and it's going to get particularly nasty. And then, all bets are off, as they say. But don't kid yourself that it's going to turn, everything's going to turn around tomorrow, and everyone's going to go pat on the back to China and pat on the back to Australia, and we're all friends in this together. The other problem that Australia has got in a roundabout way is America, because America's going, we're not giving you any new trade deals. China's asked America for a new trade deal, and Trump went, gave him the finger and said, no, not happening. We did the deal. That's the deal. You got to stick to it. So, of course, China can't become belligerent to America because they rely on America so much. So what happens when Trump goes, you know what? If you guys aren't going to admit to this problem, and we're going to try and find out where this came from and how this started, then we're not going to import any goods from China anymore, effective immediately. Can you understand what would happen in China? Well, it would be just chaos, absolute chaos in seconds, because everything they do is based on the US buying their goods. You know, all the cheap shit that we get from them, the plastic crap. You know, like you guys might find this funny, but I'm a builder. I used to be a builder, so I'm rebuilding our house, you know, a little bit by little bit, as much as I can, you know, with my illness. And the amount of stuff that I get that I have to return, and this includes DeWalt, Makita, they're all shit. I used to have a drill that used to last me for 10 years. I cannot get one that lasts any longer than 3 months. You know, look, let's just not kid ourselves. Everything is now shit. It's processed shit. It's production shit. It's just, you know, they're just shit. And they just pump them out, pump them out, pump them out. And we just go, okay. You know, like I can buy a drill now, an Azedo drill here in Australia from Bunnings, and it's got a 4-year warranty. What's that tell you? If I can keep taking that drill back every time I take the drill back, and every time I get a new one, it's got a new 4-year warranty on it. You don't have, this isn't rocket science, folks. This is just ridiculous. The Chinese work on a over 75% return rate. They still make money on that. Try doing that if you're an Australian company. So, as I said, this is going to get nasty, and it's unfortunate. It's going to lead to war. And as Trump is Trump, he's not going to telegraph what he's going to do. He's going to make demands of China, you know, all that sort of stuff about this virus. And then China's going to react. Funny enough, China will react first. And then Trump's just going to push a button. Bang. South China Sea. Because China can't fight against the stealth fighters. Those things can drop bombs from, you know, lunar space. so, you know, all this railgun shit, etc. they talk about. Well, good luck with that one, fellas. If you can't see it, you can't shoot it. And they will literally wipe out those islands in the South China Sea, literally within minutes. Now, I couldn't find it before I came on here, but Russia yesterday literally gave America the green light to bomb Iran if it wants. So that was interesting. You might not have seen it, but the Russians literally said to the US, well, you want to do it, you do it. We don't care. Virtually saying to them, you know, go ahead, which tells you that the regime in Iran has become completely loose-ended Hezbollah dickheads. So that's a bit of a worry for the Middle East. So once again, that's going to be watch this space. I don't think Americans can give a shit about Iran at the moment. Now, I'm going to give this. You all know Greg Hunter, obviously. Just hang on a sec. This is Greg Hunter's. Sorry, I'll go back a second. This is Greg Hunter's weekly news wrap up from last week. Now, I'm going to leave the link in the description box. Don't worry about the first bit. It's very American, you know, the Mueller report, which kind of affects all of us, but don't worry about it. It's all political shit. Go from the 18th minute mark. And look, I sent this to all of my family. And I said, watch from the 18-minute mark. And it was a real, I sent this to my kids as well, 17 and 18 and that. It's an eye-opener, folks. What Greg shows you in that 10-minute block literally, and I mean literally, makes you stupefied. You like that. Wow, wow, really? The graphs that he shows and the impact on the economies around the world, the impact on the economy in America and the knock-on effect that that's going to have to economies around the world is literally staggering. You know, I don't know whether you guys know that. You should know this already. But we're at our unemployment level and our economy is at a worse level than the Great Depression already while we're sitting here. In the Great Depression, they didn't print money. They didn't go, oh, it's okay. We'll give you $1 trillion over here and $1 trillion over there. They didn't do that. So all we're doing is literally kicking the can down the road. And as I've said to you before, you need to get ready. You've got 2 more weeks left, I reckon. I'm working my ass off here at home as much as I can do with my illness to try and get vegetable gardens done. Anything that's going to keep us going. Herb gardens, veggie gardens. I bought bees. You know, look, this is when none of us, I don't give a shit who you are going to walk away from this really easy. It's not going to happen. Unfortunately, we are the generation that's going to walk through this, which I kind of, you know, I'm thinking to myself, well, if you are here, you were born to be in this time. And you need to stand up and remember that and be accounted. Now, there's been lots of people contacting me lately because they obviously realise what's going on with this militia, Australian militia that I called. And I'm still calling it. I want to find out something first before I go any further with this as regards to the militia, because I want to make sure I'm not working, and this, you might find this strange, but I want to make sure that I'm not working against the Australian government. I'm working with the Australian government, regardless of what their policy is going to be in the future. And what I mean by that is, I don't want any nutbags, don't know if that's the right term, coming up and joining and going, oh, we're going to get rid of the Australian government, blah, blah. Look, you're in bloody dreamy dreamland. That's not going to happen. The idea of this militia is to or will be to protect Australia. Got nothing to do with overthrowing the Australian government. So look, I already had comments from people and you just go, oh, really? Look, if you're watching this and you want to be in the Australian militia, understand this. It's about protecting your country and your fellow Australians. That's it. And you're going to live and die by that creed, by the way, in the future. It's about protecting Australia and Australian people, because that's what it's going to be about. It ain't going to be about politics or anything like that. I don't give a shit about these politicians anyway, but that's not what this is about. And you need to understand that before you come to me and say, yeah, well, we're going to march on Canberra. No, we're not. The only place I'm going to be marching is west, out in the bush somewhere, and setting up a base. Because as I said to you, if you think you are going to be able to overrun the 1 million Chinese troops that land on wherever they land or wherever they get here, then you are in another dreamy dream world, mate. The only thing you need to understand this as well. It'll be a 10-year thing. Set yourself 10 years out of your life if you survive, because you ain't going to do it any quicker than that. Because that's how it's going to happen, unfortunately. It's a big country and they can take whatever they want, and you need to understand that. You ain't going to just go, Well, you can if you want, if you're a bloody dickhead, but you can run down the main street of Sydney running at the Chinese troops who are just going to shoot you dead like cannon fodder if you're dumb enough. And I'm not saying that because I'm a wimp or anything. That's just common sense. You need to learn the art of war. That's what this is going to be about. The art of war is not about how long it takes. It's about how you win. The art of war is about, it may take 10 years to achieve something that could have been done in 1 week, but you strategically do it. So look, if you are keen about this militia, then so am I. But as I said, it will only be to help the Australian country, to protect the Australian country and its people. It will have nothing to do with trying to overrun governments or, look, leave them to it, because they'll do what they have to do anyway. They'll send thousands of kids to their deaths and, blah, blah. Good luck to them. Because that's what they have to do, I guess. I don't know. So look, that's it for today. I will try and repost in the next couple of days before the end of the week. Maybe not, I don't know, because I'm so busy here at the moment. As I said, I won't be doing anything with the militia until I find out what the actual regulation is in Australia, which I'm going to tell you guys, advise you guys what it is, because I get conflicting reports and I get conflicting things on every time I search it up. So I will find out and I'll get back to you. Okay, here's a different verse of the day. As I said, these things always have meaning. From Proverbs 31:10, 27 to 28. Epilogue, the wife of noble character. A wife of noble character who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. I'd probably agree with that. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Something to think about there. And as always, folks, we'll end with the Lord's Prayer. Maybe we need to say this for a bit of peace or foresight. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. All right, folks. I think I've said everything that needs to be said. Watch that Greg Hunter weekly news wrap up from the 18-minute mark. You will literally fall back in your chair. I was going to replay it today, but I didn't want to do any copyright stuff, so I would say just watch it because it is staggering. Honestly, if you think we're going to walk out of this tomorrow and we're just going to put the jet propelled boots back on, we're all going to get back to the economy, then you're just dreaming. It's as simple as that. I don't think any of you are, but just watch that from the 18-minute mark and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. All right. God bless all. Keep safe. Prep out.